Hello, good night. Let's see. So, let's see. I wanted to do this on YouTube because I want you to get used to my page. But I also feel that I need to maybe use Facebook as well because I have more followers up there. But if you are here and you are tuning in from Belize and you are here to hear my take on this hot topic of the week, please drop a comment and let me know. Maybe I should get my other phone and do it simultaneously on Facebook. All right, good. So, I wanted to talk about this viral video that has been going around with this tour guide and his experience with the porn star Connie Perignon. Now, there has been so many videos, there's so many things going around in Belize lately, and every time I see something, I go to the comments or I see people posting about it and I'm like, oh my gosh, why are we not understanding? So I just feel like there's always a lot to say, especially when it comes to around the topic with sex. And I always hear people talk about things and I like they're all the way wrong most of the time. And I also feel that we need to have a conversation around it because that's how we learn, that's how we grow. So let's talk about it. And if you have any questions, then be sure to let me know in the chat. Oh, before, let me go ahead and put this on Do Not Disturb. All right. So let's get into this conversation. First of all, there are like four main things that keeps coming up out of this. The first main thing that keeps coming up out of it is the size of his penis. The second thing is about and the orgy party, too much discrimination. Oh, we can talk about the orgy party too. I saw about that, and I was supposed to look it up before I came on, but I forgot. But I don't think that we have any laws in Belize that says prostitution is illegal. So, um, it's questionable that it was spoken of or down about like that, but that's another conversation. So we could have that conversation later too. So then there was a conversation about, well, okay, so whenever these things come on, my friends or people would just message me and they would have a conversation with it about me with me, and it's always interesting people's take on it. And I always say, you know what, I should like really have this conversation on live so everybody could see it. So there's also the conversation about his flaccid state. And then there was a conversation about just her being a porn star altogether. So let's talk about the size of his penis. What does it matter? Um, People seem to forget, like people were very insulted, like that insulted them the most, that this girl, and by the way, it was a fake post, but people are still in their feelings about this penis size comment, even though it's not real, and people are so sensitive about their penis size. And why? First of all, his penis size is average. Not everybody has a big long penis or a big fat penis, and based on worldwide standards, his penis size is average. What we could talk about was the fact that maybe his penis was a little bit flaccid. It seemed that it took a while for him to get erect, and some people would be like, oh well, you're with a porn star. So this is why I'm saying he's winning, because first of all, if you have ever had sex with a like legitimate, bona fide, certified porn star, then he's got one up on you. Doesn't matter what the size of his penis is, it doesn't matter any of that. The fact is, he got it on with a porn star, and you will never ever get to see that in your life. And I feel like it's jealousy, because people are like, oh well, she should have been with me. um you know, if it was with me, my penis is bigger. It comes from a place of jealousy. It can only be coming from a place of jealousy. People that aren't even into women are talking about it should have been them. That was funny. Anyways, so his penis size doesn't matter, because his penis size is average on, based on all intents, for all intents and purposes, his penis size is average. Seemed to me like maybe about 5 to 5.5, maybe 6 if fully erect. The fact that it wasn't, anybody would say, man, you get a porn star in bed like that, then you would just get erect right away. There is performance anxiety. You know, you finally get that one person that you've always wanted to be with, and then all of a sudden your penis not cooperate with you. It's performance anxiety. He got it up eventually. He was able to do it. And stop talking down about penis size and men with small penises. Lengthwise, it was okay. Maybe it could have been a little thicker, but you're not the one that's taking it. She was the one that's taking it, and if she was satisfied with it, then what's it to you? So that was my take on his penis size. and if I can do a shameless plug, if you want to maybe increase the thickness of your penis, you can always use things like a penis ring. You can always use a pump. You can use that thickening cream. You can use whatever. Oh, you can use a penis sleeve. There are things like that that you can use to make it seem thicker. Nobody was complaining in that video. Everybody seemed to be enjoying themselves. And another topic that came up, so back to performance anxiety. He may have had performance anxiety because, imagine the pressure. This woman has been with, I think I saw an interview with her when she said something in 2023. She had sex with about 250 partners in that year. I don't know if I could get a one-on-one call with her. I have seen her in real life though, and she was really friendly. And when I asked her to if I could take a video of her, she was all for it, and she gave a show. So she was cool, and she was friendly. Oh, another thing, somebody made a comment on my page today about she's trans. So how is he winning? First of all, where on the internet does it say she is trans? There is absolutely nothing. I've not seen anything saying that this lady is a trans person. Um, He must have known. They were talking for a while, and she had to have posted that video up on maybe one of her pages. So he knew she was a porn star. Whether or not he knew she was going to post the video, I don't know. She should have asked him permission. Maybe that was a discussion they had. We don't know that. We don't know that information. I'm sure she made money off the video, so um, but I don't know. I don't. He knew he was being videotaped. That's for sure. So I think he knew. I think he knew that she was. I don't think she would have been shy about saying who she was, and she seemed to have been having. She was hanging out with them all day. They're probably having conversations. So more than likely she knew. For all you know, maybe he knows he's into porn and he knows that type of stuff. So maybe he knew that she was. Either way, the only concern there would have been whether or not he knew she was going to post it online. Um, but back to his performance anxiety, like he did finally get up and he was able to, you know, got it. And don't shit on small penises or penises that are not huge, because you know that the a penis that's too big will take much more to get hard and the blood flow to it. So smaller penises stay harder longer. Don't think that they don't, or don't think that a small penis means bad sex. A small penis doesn't mean you're not going to enjoy it. It doesn't mean it's going to be quick. um, that none of those things are defined by the size of your penis. Um, we do want to talk about safety. Someone mentioned that they didn't see a condom. I did see a condom during penetration. There was no barriers being used when they were doing oral. You can still get an STI when you're doing oral. So that's something. But for some reason, why is it that people are only concerned about safe sex when it's somebody else? Because nobody I speak to, like I've seen people, I've been around people that don't care. They've never, like, people are so against using condoms. Like, I have the hardest thing for me to sell at Pleasure Spot is condoms. So people aren't using condoms. So why are you concerned about whether or not somebody else is using? That's always the first thing. Oh, they're not even using a condom. They're gonna get an STI. Do you use a condom? All right. So he was using a condom during penetration. I did see one. And contrary to what people think, porn stars are not dirty. Um, so the porn industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They use their bodies, they make a living off of their bodies, they need to take care of their bodies. They're not going to be careless and do crazy stuff when they know that if they have the risk of not being hired if they get an STI. So a lot of them have to get, most of them, all of them, I would dare to say, if they're, especially if they're working with in a professional setting, excuse me, and they're attached to, like, maybe some brand, they will be getting tested regularly. And a lot of them are on prep, so they can go on prep. Prep is the drug that you take, or the, sorry, my neighborhood is noisy. But you can take prep, and prep is going to, probably they got tested before. I mean, really, yeah, she wouldn't mess up herself. And I don't think they probably, she said she just called him up the morning because she woke up and she was feeling it. So I don't think they got tested before. People don't think like that. It's spontaneous. He probably showed up there without a condom and she had the condom. So I think that that's a stereotype, or that's something, like some type of stigma that's put on porn stars, that, oh, they're dirty, or they, I always hear people talk about this. Oh, she's had so many men, a whole big, a not tight, that were well down there. None of that is true, and you obviously do not know enough about vaginas to know that that is not true. You can have as many partners if in a lifetime, and maybe if it's back to back it's going to, but it the tightness or looseness has more to do with how relaxed you are. When you're How relaxed you are and how comfortable you are. If you're not comfortable, you're going to be tense and just anticipating. But if you're comfortable in your sexuality, there is not going to be an issue with getting in and out. And it has absolutely the vagina is a muscle, and all she has to do is pop in some Kegels, which they probably take care. They probably do all of that to take. They probably have better maintenance than regular people. Um, Pop a Kegel, squeeze a little quick a Kegel here and there. It The amount of partners you have has absolutely nothing to do with the elasticity of your vagina. So maybe having a child could affect that, but even that, your vagina bounces back from having a child. So what do you think it's going to do from a little small penis? Because the size of a child's head compared to the size of a penis, no matter how big it is, you know it's gonna come back. So, and if you do the right things, the muscle is going to come back. So I don't like that narrative that people spin, and they talk about girls, especially when they start to talk about girls and how many partners they've had, which is none of your business. But how many partners they've had, and they talk about, oh, it must be loose or whatever. No, it's not. You won't be able to tell. I've known situations where women were with one man and they're go with another man, and the other man cannot even tell that she had just been with another man before him. So that's bullshit. Stop thinking like that if you think like that. Let me see. So that's the safe sex part. The flaccid state, we talked about that. We talked about the penis size. What else? What else is there to talk about? Let me see. I made notes. I really made notes because I was like, this is crazy. And every time I see things like that, I'm like, ooh, that's not true. And I want to comment on it, and I'm like, let me leave them alone. But I feel that my intention as an educator is to talk about topics like that, talk about topics like this, because I want people to think different. I want to change that narrative. I think that we are so casual in the way we speak about sex, and we're so strong in how we talk about things, and half the time we're wrong. And I don't feel that ignorance is not bliss, especially not when it comes to sex. I don't believe ignorance is bliss, and some people need to know that it's not. Let's see, what else did I have in my notes? We talked about that, and then we talked about whether or not he got consent. And when we talk about safety, he's probably one more at risk than anything, because neither of them knew each other apart from that day. And you don't just take somebody's word for it to say, oh well, I've been tested, I'm okay. You don't just take someone's word for it, especially not a stranger. Like, you would take that chance with somebody that you've been talking to for a while, and then maybe. But how many people you know really get into a relationship and go, oh well, we need to go to the clinic and get tested and do all of this before we can even have sex? Like, who's doing that anymore? So if they're not doing that, then what are we really doing? Because people are doing that, and they're getting drunk with people and just having sex on the first night or whatever, like within minutes of meeting, and they're not using protection. And it's like, the grace of God will carry me through. So let's talk about the orgy. Does anybody know if it happened? And by the way, please like my video if you're enjoying the conversation. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Um, it was crazy because I had a lot of people coming and asking me if it was me. I'm like, no, that's not. For me, it's a high risk. It's something high risk. I don't want to be responsible for, especially knowing how I feel that people are not as responsible as they should be, precisely for things like STIs and that sort of stuff. I feel it's a high risk activity that I don't want to take. It did happen. Oh, hmm. Oh, it didn't. Listen, I just wanted an invite so that I could set up my booth and sell some toys, but well, there is absolute, but my response to that is fair trade is no robbery. If you're going to pay $1,500 and you feel it's worth being able to go to an orgy and do whatever you want with whoever you want, then that's fine. The only problem that would have been with that is if they showed up or they didn't, if they paid their $1,500 and couldn't get what they want out of it. Obviously it was catering to a certain level of clientele, because the way people broke out here, I don't know how many people would have really been able, how many regular people would have been able to afford $1,500 to attend an orgy. But um I and I question, I don't want to, because I don't see nothing wrong with it. um but if you go, like if you're in the States or somewhere else, like I know people that have paid like maybe 150 US to go into like a swingers club, which is almost like an orgy, because it can turn into an orgy. So I felt like the price was a bit high, but I don't know what all came with it. I don't know I don't know the details. So, like I said, fair exchange is no robbery. So if they felt that it was worth the value, and I'm sure, then pay it. If you have the money, then pay it and go for it. I think that we live in a community, in a society that's very Christian based, and there's a whole lot of conversation about what is moral. It wasn't illegal, it was immoral, as far as our faith-based community goes. So that was the issue, and that's the issue with a lot of things. That's the issue that, with a lot of, even what I do. But my thing is, if you're going to teach people to be abstinent, and you want a society where everybody is chaste until they're married, it's not realistic. It's not realistic. And then what you're teaching them is to lie. You're teaching them to lie. You're teaching them to hide their true feelings. The body is made up in a way that it naturally pushes you, gives you the urge. You have the urge to have sex without even thinking about having sex, and your body say, I want it. There's nothing unnatural about it. So when you tell people not to do it and their body is craving it, it's of the flesh, I guess. I have an issue with it. I have an issue with it because I feel like it's being ignorant. I feel that if you're going to tell people not to do it and they already are doing it, then what are you really doing? Rather, I feel that you should, if they're already doing it, I feel that you should teach them how to do it safely, so that we can reduce things like teenage pregnancy and STIs and things like that, because they're gonna do it. People have free will. Yes, your body is your temple, and you should treat it like that. um and that's so and that's yeah, I agree, your body is your temple, but you also choose to do what you want with that. Your body is your body. You can make that choice. And then what am I just going to say, well, you're not supposed to have it, so I'm not going to tell you how to protect yourself. I'm not going to tell you, like, the only thing we've ever learned is all the things that stir up fear. If you have sex, you're going to get pregnant and you're going to ruin your life. If you have sex, you're going to get a disease and it's going to ruin your life. If you have sex, you're going to walk funny. I don't know. Like, if you have sex, you're going to be, it means you're a whore, and nobody wants a whore, and you'll never be wifeable or lovable, or there's so many of that comes. And then, so I don't see nothing wrong. I didn't see anything wrong with the orgy. I feel that it was brave, and I've seen a lot of brave things happen recently online, and very interesting. And I look and I'm like, okay, is this what we're doing? So I think we talk a lot about it. So if you don't know already, I am doing a podcast, and we do an episode every other Wednesday, and I do it on YouTube. I also share it on my pages. But definitely subscribe to the channel so that you can see the next one. Is going to be Wednesday coming, the 1st of May, and we're talking about kink. I have a guest speaker who is a dominatrix, and she's a practicing dominatrix, and we have a really, really long, in-depth conversation about kink and about all of these things, and a lot of very nice little gems are dropped. So definitely look for our episode this Wednesday. It's going to be really good, and it's an hour long, so it's longer than the other ones that I've done. We still have episodes coming up, like porn versus sex, and I think that's a very good one too. So definitely look out for that. So I think I like the idea of talking about these things as they come up. I feel that it gives us a chance to learn about certain things, and that's what I want to do. I want to teach. I want to educate. And the reason I got into this was because a lot of people are always asking me questions, and questions that I thought that people would naturally know, or already experienced, and it's not. And it's really surprising how many people are having sex, but they're not aware of what's going on with their bodies. They're not aware of a lot of things, but a lot of people are also curious, and that's okay. I think that you're supposed to be curious, because, like I said, it's a natural thing. But the problem comes, I think, where I would want to bridge the gap, is where you're curious and you go and you get your information from sources that are not necessarily educating you or showing you how to do things the proper way, and because there is a proper way. And that's where we have the issues. That's where problems come up, and I think that is where I want to help and kind of bridge the gap. So I don't know, does anybody have any questions? Because I think I've said everything that I wanted to say about this. If he didn't have performance anxiety, no, he did have performance anxiety, because he was able to get hard afterwards, and he performed. We didn't see the entire video. So going back to that, so that thing, somebody said she was trans. I did not see anything, and I've seen other videos with her, and I see a vagina. I see a natural looking vagina. So again, it's just a shame tactic. It's just because you want to comfort yourself because you weren't the one with her, and now what? He's gay because he had sex with somebody with a vagina. There is absolutely nothing indicating on her body that indicated that she is a man or was previously a man. Absolutely nothing. Are you going based on looks? People look different. So where I maybe I'm wrong, but if and but I have not seen any evidence of it, and I'm not going to say that she's trans. And even if she was trans, she has a vagina, so she's now a she, and has everything that a woman has. So that is no that has absolutely nothing to no bearing on his sexuality or his preference, because as far as he was concerned, he was having sex with a woman, and to me I think she looks a woman. um so unless somebody can show me otherwise where they say she was trans, then I think people are just making things up. They're trying to make him look bad. He's getting all of the flack, um, on because of his penis size, because of his performance anxiety, because of who he was with, and they're just trying to diminish his experience. And at the end of the day, if you got a chance to be with your favorite superstar, um, you can send it in my DM. Yes. Send it to my Instagram or Facebook DM though, because I need to get my other phone to check it. Yeah, but if you had the opportunity to have intercourse with your favorite star, would you, and she said yes, would you care about what size your penis was or any of that? Hell no. You would jump up in there and be like, yes, I got it. I got it in with so and so, and who cares? She never care. So why should I just did that. I mean, if it's the other way around, and if it's a girl that had like a fantasy about a man and like her favorite celebrity, and she finally get to meet him, and he wasn't performing, that would be disappointing. But for men, it's so easy, it's so different. Like, ugh, I hate you guys. I don't, but you guys have it so easy. It's not as like women. There's I feel that men are satisfied regardless. And I know I've had many conversations about this, and they always tell me no, but I don't know. I feel like a man will have an orgasm regardless. If he doesn't have an orgasm, most of the time it's because he chooses not to have an orgasm. But a man can have an orgasm, doesn't matter. Um, at least that's my take. So, did you send your question? Or are you going to send it later? Because I'm checking and I'm not seeing it. Did you want me to answer the question here on the live, or you want me to answer you privately? I can answer you privately. Oh, you're still typing. Okay. I will wait. Were there any other things that has happened lately? Oh, the tropic video. Wait. That was another one with the young lady in tropic and on the phone and the guy first of all, why was he videotaping her? He had no right to videotape her in that um even though it seems she didn't mind, but I don't think he had the right to videotape her. Uh, Public nudity, I think, is illegal though. Um, but again, there was a whole conversation about what she does, and people were judging her, and but listen, it's a job. It's sex work is a job, and it pays the bills very good. Um, and if you're just doing online stuff, nobody is really touching you. Hmm. See, that's the thing. You're not supposed to open Pandora's box like that. Uh, I'll answer it to you in the DMs. Yes. So I'll come off live now. Thank you for those of you who joined. Please, even if you're watching it after, please like. If you have questions, send it. If you like this type of content, if you like me going live, and people seem to have liked it, but going live is a lot of work and a lot of preparation. But I would want to do a live, maybe like an in-person live where we ask questions, but still I think people like to ask questions anonymously as well. So I'll figure it out. In the meantime, though, I have a lot of great topics on my podcast, and I really would appreciate a like and a subscribe on YouTube because I want to get my subscriptions up. And I do have great topics. If you have ideas for topics that you would want me to talk about on the podcast, then go ahead and send that to me. If you have ideas on, or if you have questions on any of the topics, last episode was on sex and disability. So if you have questions on any of the topics that I talk about on the podcast, then feel free. And maybe I go live and do like an anonymous question and answer, like after I've gotten a whole bunch of questions, then I could probably do one live and then just answer all the questions that I've gotten anonymously. Of course, you'll know what question you ask. So enjoy your long weekend, everyone. Thank you for those who joined, and I'll see if I know how to save this live. So first of all, I don't even know how to end it. I can save it and post it for people to view afterwards. Have a great long weekend. Bye.